Hi Flosstube, it's Jerry Caudell, the Yankee Creek Stitcher. I'm back for Flosstube number 12. It's Thursday, January 10th of 2019. Thank you for stopping by. If you are a new visitor, I hope you can hit that subscribe button and hit like for this video. And if you're a returning subscriber or visitor, I appreciate you coming back, spending some more time with me as we kick off 2019 stitching. I've got quite a bit accomplished already for the year. I'm so excited to share that with you today. Let's see, last week I have a winner for my little giveaway. It was for this Lizzie Kate chart. She believed she could. I had stitched this piece for my daughter when she graduated from Butler. I had 45 entries and comments. Thank you for sharing all your goals, and I think we all had the same kind of thoughts and feelings. Don't really do resolutions, have some goals for the year, and we just need to cheer each other on that we you know, stick to them, because I know I'm going to need some help with mine. But anyway, I had Alexa pick a number between 1 and 45. She chose 35, and it was Vicky Benyo, or Benyo, B-E-N-Y-O. So Vicky, if you can email me your address, my email address is yankeecreekstitch, all one word, at gmail.com. I'll also comment on your comment in my email address. So get a hold of me and I'll send this right out to you. I will also have another giveaway at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Let's see. So things I've been up to, I have taken down Merry Christmas items in my home. I usually don't start taking down any of my Christmas holiday at all until late March or no, I'm sorry, late February or March. But I had showed you the hutch I had gotten from Craigslist a couple months ago, and I'm so excited to get that painted and in my home. And it's going in my kitchen, where I have my wine bottle display and the black cube space that I had showed in my home tour. That's coming out, and I'm putting my hutch there, so I needed to get the hutch inside to get it repainted. So I was anxious to do that, so I went ahead and took down Christmas items, Santa Clauses, Merry Christmas signs. I still have my Christmas trees up and all of my snowmen and let it snow and all that kind of stuff related to winter, because we usually don't get snows here in southern Indiana till January, February, March time. So we still have lots of winter left, which I love, because I love to hibernate. That's when I get a lot of stitching time in, sewing and cross stitch. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 months and hopefully getting snowed in for a few days. So I did start painting on my hutch this week. I should have it done. I should be done painting it this evening. And then my husband and I can get it put together this weekend. Thankfully it was in 2 pieces because it's really heavy. So I've painted it. I'll have it painted, and he and I will assemble it, and I should have a finished photo for you next week. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so awesome to be able to display my cross stitch pieces and things in there. I just cannot wait to get it up. I have also I've been cutting my Country Charmer quilt, but after I stitched for a little while on my Bernina, it started squeaking. I have had the machine for 10 or 15 years and have never had it like cleaned and maintenance really good. So I took that, and also this week, where I've gotten this linen, so much of the linen in the Aida, I keep the 18 count. I like to stitch on the 18 count Aida as well as my daughter. So, but I will cut it down to the size I need. I like stitching on the smaller sizes. So I will cut it down to what I need before I start stitching on it. And I have used the zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. But my mom has had a serger, and she doesn't use it anymore. She hasn't used it for years. So I told her I would love to put it back into service. So she graciously let me have it, and thank you so much. But since I was taking my sewing machine to have it cleaned up and maintenance, I included the serger when I dropped that off as well. So they said it'd be a couple weeks. So I'll have a couple weeks that I can focus just on my cross stitch. I still have to cut out some of my quilt, which I'll do. But I'll be able to do more cross stitch. And I've already got quite a bit accomplished the first 10 days of January, which I can't wait to show you. Let's see. I've had a few people ask again about the magnifying glasses that I've mentioned in my videos. I typically do not stitch anymore without them. Whether I'm stitching on my 18 count Ada or 28 count even weave, or especially with my 36 count. But these are the glasses that I have. Now there are some on Amazon that have, there's a brand name on them. I don't even know what the name is, but they're all the same. This pair was $12.99. It looks exactly like the $16 and $18 ones. Just when you go on Amazon, search magnifying glasses, and it'll pop up for like arts and crafts area. And just scroll down through there. This was an Amazon Prime 2-day shipping, $12.99. It also comes with the other lenses as well. It comes with 5 total. I love it. I pretty much do not stitch without it anymore. So highly recommend, definitely worth it. And I'm nearsighted. I can't see far away, but when I stitch, it is just so much easier just to have that a little bit larger in your eyes. It's so much easier. You don't have to strain at all. It's great. So highly recommend that. And I also wanted to mention again, several other floss tubers for the new year have started journaling. I'm not journaling per se, but like I had mentioned, I do use mine just to record the day. I just simply put the date, the time I start stitching, and what I'm stitching on. And then when I stop, I put my stop time. And you can see on this day, I stitched at 4 different times through the day. And I just simply start and stop time and what I stitched on. Love it. I have went through, after I had a couple of finishes this month, went through and recorded my time on my Excel sheet. So that way I know how much time I spend stitching, because you underestimate so much. Because one of the charts I finished, I thought, well, tomorrow I probably got like 3 or 4 hours left of stitching worth to do. It was actually about 6.5 hours that I had the next day to do. So it just helps you kind of gauge, you know, how much work and effort you do put into these projects. And I like that. So that's one section. I just bought, I don't use like a calendar entry form. I just have just the lined pages, and it had 3 different sections in this journal. So in my second tab, I have Flosstube info. As I'm watching Flosstubes, when I get some good information, or they're showing a chart that I really like, which happens a lot, I just make note of that, who I was watching and what the chart was, or what information they had. A couple of them had mentioned a sale was going to be starting at a certain day, so I made note of that because I wanted to join in on that, and if any of them had sales. And then the third section, I keep note of what I want to make note of for when I do my next floss tube. Shout outs that I want to do, products that I want to share, you know, just as I'm stitching, different things pop in my head. Oh yeah, don't forget to tell them this or that. So that's what I use mine for. I love it. It has been really helpful. So highly recommend that as well. And I mean, even if you don't, I like mine because it's just bright, pretty, happy. You can just do a notebook. Okay. And I also recorded another short recipe video, and I'll include that at the end of my floss tube. Quick, easy. It's awesome for these winter days, cold winter days. It's a chicken casserole, so stay tuned for that. And I hadn't showed any of my finished wall hangings lately, or any of my finished quilting projects, so I wanted to share this one with you. This is, I did machine piece it. It is machine, the trees are machine appliqued, and these are all sewn, and then I quilted the whole thing and added the little sequin detail. And I think I just hot glued those on. I've had this for a while. I think I just hot glued those on. But it's bright, Christmassy. I love it. And on the back of it, I just simply added just these little, and I hadn't added them before I finished it. So this was after, because I hadn't decided what I was going to do with it. And then just added these tabs when I decided I'm just going to hang all these little odds and ends projects in my studio. And I love it. I'm surrounded by them. So, I don't know if I dated this one or not. Nope. It's so aggravating. I get aggravated with myself that I didn't date these, because this is probably 6 years old. So I just love it. Okay, I do have a shout out this week. I watched Pam with Stitching Between the Lines. It's all one word. If you look her up on Flosstube, Stitching Between the Lines. Her name is Pam. She and I have very similar tastes in what we like to cross stitch. She has some gorgeous projects going on right now, and one that I fell in love with and actually have added to my wish list that I really, really wanted. It's the Quaker Christmas 2. It's in reds and greens, and it is beautiful. It is on my list. It's high on my list because it's gorgeous. So highly recommend her. We have a lot of similarities. She's empty nester now, and my husband and I were starting to enter that stage, so she and her husband are going to be doing a lot of traveling and to see their kids. So I'm looking forward to that next phase of life of being able to travel around and see the different parts of the countries and just seeing where our kids end up in life. So and also I wanted to mention Cindy's cross stitch again. If any of you have projects that you've finished stitching but are intimidated by the finishing process, or you just have a lot and need some help or whatever, Cindy's cross stitch, she is amazing. She is just a wonderful person, and she is now offering her finishing services for ornaments. So check her out. And contact her on what you would like to get done. She, on her last Flosstube, she showed some of her finishes that she had done for some clients this past week, and they're gorgeous. Send them off to her, and they come back done, and you can hang them up. She loves doing it, and they're beautiful. So it's a win-win. So check her Flosstube and message her. She does great work. I highly recommend it. Okay, moving on to purchases. I did want to clarify, last week when I spoke about my 2019 goals and I'm stitching from stash, that means that I am going to have very, very, very minimal chart purchases. I still have to, purchase floss and linen so that I can stitch all my charts that I have. So I will still get my floss. I have, I think, 3 floss clubs: cotton, colored in cotton, Victorian motto, and I signed up for 3 Ounce Threads Weeks floss club. I think that's the only 3 floss clubs, and then I'm getting the color in cotton fabric of the month. So I'm still going to get those. And I thought about doing like maybe a $25 allowance for charts a month. I was spending about $25 a week several months last year, so I need to just slow down on that, because I mean, we still have to support our LNSs maybe not, you know, just one person supporting them. That's kind of what I was doing. Also, the charts that I showed last week, those are ones that have jumped out at me that really spoke to me when I was going through all my charts that I would like to stitch. No, there's no way I'm going to be able to stitch all of those. But I have like, I still have them in a pile. That's like my top ones when I'm ready to start a new one. That's where I'm going to go to, because I know I want to stitch all of those. It's a matter of, do I want to stitch a winter chart again? Do I want to pull out a fall chart? Because I have a little bit of everything in there. So, no, I know I'm not going to be able to stitch all of them, but those are the ones that I will pull from when I want to do a start. Okay, so I do have some purchases to show you, and everything I'm showing you, I purchased prior to the new year, before January 1st. And so I'm just getting in this week, and I have one more, I think it's just one more order to come in, and it's for a linen. I already got the PDF chart, and I'll show you that when I get the linen, because that kind of goes hand in hand. And that may be a few weeks because it's hand painted. So, but the purchases I want to show you now, I did purchase prior to January 1st. One of them was from Jen's Stitching Niche. She had a sale, and I'm not sure if it's still going on. It might have just been through the end of the year. Free shipping over for a $25 or more purchase. And from Jen, I got, okay, the 36 count country or vintage country Mocha. I'm sure you can see a theme with my stitching. I love to stitch on neutrals, and this is just gorgeous. I think it's 18 by 27. Yeah, I think it's the fat 8th. But it's the 36 count. I thought it was gorgeous. And I also purchased from her Kathy Barrick's Dear Santa. The first time I seen that, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get that. Just love that. Huge moon. It's just an awesome chart. I love it. And I think it will look great on this vintage Mocha. So that may be where it gets stitched. My next purchase was from 123 Stitch. I had mentioned in my last Flosstube I was getting the 32 count gridded fabric for my Heaven and Earth design, a real snow job. So I did get that, and I'll share with you that fabric in a moment. Oh, and from 123 Stitch as well, they had the what was that? It was a half yard. It was I think it was on sale for $3.99 for a half yard. It's the Blackbird Designs half yard. It's just a red and cream plaid. I thought it was gorgeous. It's a very heavy, nice fabric too. It'll be used for some type of finishing, I'm sure. Then I just got in the mail this afternoon my Floss Club from Color and Cotton. I got purple geranium. Isn't that gorgeous? The variegation of those purples. Just gorgeous. I love this one. I love pinks and oranges. And this one is called Luau. Look at that. I just think that is gorgeous. Love that. This one is called Sea Spray. It's a beautiful teal and blue variegation. Her colors are just, I have never been disappointed with her floss. Sea Spray. Beautiful blues. And raw linen. A beautiful off-white. So that was my Floss Club from Color and Cotton. And the silver needle, I think I mentioned in my last Flosstube they were having a sale. Depending on what time you placed your order, Eastern Standard Time, it was between 7 and 8 a.m. You got 25% off your order. So I was at work already up, so I jumped right on there at 7 a.m. and got my order put in. It was so cute. The everything I had ordered was wrapped. I tried to do it as neat as possible, opening it, but of course it ripped a little bit. But I thought it was wrapped so cute with the little snowman tissue paper. And inside, I had no idea that little Jelly Belly jelly beans were individually wrapped, but those were included. And I ordered 4 packs of the Bowen size 26 needles, so 24 of those needles. And I ordered Brenda Gervais, well, hopefully it won't glare too bad. Merry Christmas. It calls to be stitched 1/1 on 28 count. But I'm probably going to do it on my 36 count. Not 1/1, but 2/2. But I just love the chart. I just love that. Gorgeous. And I got a fat half of 36 count Legacy. I mean, 25% off. Might as well, right? So I will probably do the chart, the Merry Christmas chart on this. It has a little bit more of a green tint to it. So I think that chart would look really great on this Legacy linen. Okay. I also stopped by Goodwill and got a few items. I found this wooden cigar box that I just thought was gorgeous. It was $4. But I thought, oh, that would be perfect to put a finish on top of that. But I thought, it's so cool. I hate to cover that up. I might just do a finish inside of here. But I just thought that was so cool. And I also picked up this little sled, which is going to be perfect for one of my Prairie Schooler month charts. I forget I know I got December and January, and it seems like there was another. I don't remember what it was. Snow Day? No, that's what January says. Whatever. One of them will go on here. Some kind of snowy little Christmas thing will go on here. But it was just the perfect size for one of their charts to be finished on here. So I was thrilled with that. I also found, I flipped through all their frames, and I found this. And what caught my eye was, first of all, that it has been professionally framed and is with the conservation glass. And I thought, oh, okay, well, you know, I can tear out whatever's in there and use it for a cross stitch that I want, you know, to make sure is, you know, to be taken care of. But once I seen the painting that's in here, well, it's probably just a print, but I just thought that was gorgeous. That old rugged barn and shed with the geese. And the artist name is very tiny down here. So I put my little magnifying glasses on and seen that it is Dorothy Speiser, S-P-E-I-S-E-R, and it's dated 1984. And I did find a few other pieces on eBay. And one was a larger piece. I just thought the mat on this was so cool too, the way it was cut out. But there was a larger print of hers, and it was just an old, dilapidated barn. It was gorgeous. I just love old barns, and it was gorgeous. I think it was a couple $100. So I really like this print. So more than likely, and it would really go well in my living room. So more than likely, I'm just going to keep it intact as it is and hang it in my living room. But I always have that option to put a cross stitch in there if I didn't like it anymore. For $1.99, yep, got it. And then Kroger has such the cutest home section now, home decor section there at the end of the store. It gets me every time. But of course they have all their Christmas markdown, 75% off. And this little sign had been in there forever. Then it's nailed to the back, and the nails have kind of punched through the front. So I really don't want it for the sign. I'm just going to unscrew the sign out of there. And I have a finished stitch piece that I hadn't decided how I was going to finish it. And it will go perfectly in here. It's going to look so awesome. The colors with it and with the corrugated metal still showing in the background, it's going to look so good. So I'm excited to get that finished, which I'll probably do this week. So I'll have that to show you next week. And because I set it on Flosstube, I'm going to hold myself to it. That's the great thing about Flosstube. You got to hold yourself to these things that you say. Okay. So that was all my purchases. And I'm going to have a sip of wine. Getting kind of dry. Okay. So I do have 2 starts. My first start is very small, but it is a start nonetheless. I said one of my goals was to start an ornament every month, and I'm going to start at least 2 this month, but this is my first one to get under my belt. Oh, sorry. It's the Prairie Schooler, the snowman, Santas and Snowman. I'm doing the little snowman with the cardinals here. Like I said, it is a very small start. That's the top of the cardinal. I think it's 5 stitches in there. But it's a start. I'm calling it a start. So we've got 1 ornament started. That was my first one. My second one was my Heaven and Earth Design, a real snow job. And I've got it on my scroll frames. And this is the 32 count fabric that I got from 123 Stitch. And this is my needle minder I got from my Color and Cotton subscription box. What is it? A few weeks ago, I guess. The little red truck? Yeah, little red truck. But this is my start. I was amazed at how tiny this is. When I got this fabric in, I was like, holy smoly. Those little grid lines are very, very tiny. So this is about 30 stitches. I had about 10 minutes to stitch yesterday. I told my husband, I'm starting this today. I don't care how much time I have. I'm getting these stitches in this. I want to get this started. So it's about, I don't know, 25 stitches or so that I got started in that. And the chart had called for it to be done on 25 count, 1/1. I have decided, since I'm doing this on 32 count, I am stitching it 2/1 half stitch or 10th stitch. So it's just half of the X. I'm just going one direction with the X for each of my stitches instead of doing a full X. You know, this is my first one. I'm wanting to get one under my belt because there are a couple more that I would love to do. So I want to get this going and see how it goes. You know, I know some people say you have to do the full stitches, but I'm doing this half stitch. The coverage with doing the 2 threads is great. So I'm happy with the coverage, and I'm hoping, you know, to get this one done as quickly as possible, because like I said, there's a couple more I would love to do, and I'm anxious to see how long it's going to take me to get this one done. On the 32 count, on the 25 count, the size of this chart was going to be 15 by 18. After calculating it on 32 count, it should be 12 by 14 finished. So I'm anxious, so anxious to get, to get this little puzzle going. I love doing puzzles, and I thought, what better way to work on a puzzle than do something like this? So killing two birds with one stone. So it started. Let's see how quick I can get it done. Okay, those were my two starts. My one whip that I'm currently working on is Luminous Fiber Arts Cardinal Noel from Misty Purcell. And I finished the last time I hadn't finished this one little section of the candy cane. I haven't done any of the white stitching. This is just the red. So I have to go back and do the white in the border and the white in the candy cane as well. But then I continued on with the red in one of the cardinals there. So I got that done last night. So those were my starts and my whips. But I had two finishes under my belt since I spoke with you last week. And I wasn't even, trying to get all these finishes in that quickly. But they came together really fast. So I was like, yes, I got one done. And I'm like, I'm going to start on this other one because it's close to being done too. And I got it done too. So I was thrilled with my progress this week. I was so happy with it. So the first one that I finished was Let It Snow. I think, I put the magazine up. I think this was the primitive hair, and this was on the Days Gone By linen. I did change the color of the house and the roof, and I put a red door on the home. I was really happy with it on this fabric. I didn't go through and put all of the little dots of snow. I don't know how well you can see those. I didn't put all of those in, and I don't think I'm going to worry about putting all of them in. And I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this. I think it's small enough to do as like a little double pillow. So I don't know. Still up in the air on how I want to finish that, but it's a finish. Yay! And the second one I finished was Beehives Matter. This was done on 32 count, 1/2. And I just love the look of the 1/2 on this 32 count, where the fabric looks so old, and then the stitching isn't, full coverage. It's where it's the 1/2. It's still, it looks faded, and I just love that on this fabric. I was really happy with the way this turned out. And I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this one either. I think it's a little bit too big for a pillow, unless I did maybe like a throw pillow size. But I think I'm wanting to frame it. I think I need to go find like a metal or wooden beehive form. Like Hobby Lobby's probably going to have a lot of nice stuff, because I know they're bringing out their spring stuff, so I need to check that section out. Okay, so on the Beehives Matter, I stitched on it. Actually, it was my first finish for 2019. I stitched 6.5 hours on it total on January 1st and January 2nd. And then the Let It Snow, I finished it on January 6th, and I stitched 11.5 hours on it from January 3rd to January 6th. So I used my journal, and it's nice to know that. Now, I didn't record my times in 2018, so I don't have all of my 2018 time added in there. So it's just nice to know that size of a chart, how much time I actually spent on it. I don't have any FFOs, but I was happy with my FOs. Okay, so what I plan on doing, my plans for the rest of this week is to stitch, and stitch. So, because I want to get my hutch filled with a bunch of pretties. So yeah, I want to finish my hutch. I should be done painting it this evening, and then my husband and I can get it put together and set up in my kitchen. Okay, as far as anything to share with you, that's all I have. However, I do have my giveaway that I'd like to do for this week. And this week, I'm going to give away the Nebby Needle Beehives Matter that I just finished. It's a quick, easy chart. The chart itself is excellent condition. There's no markings on it at all. The cover for the chart, this was before I knew better, but hey, I'm giving this away. It's a free chart. The chart is excellent condition. On the back, where it has the colors, I just simply wrote down my color conversion of the colors I used. That's the only markings on here. So it's free, and like I said, the chart there's no markings on the chart at all. So if you would like to have this chart, please be a subscriber. Please be over 18 so that you can send me your email address. Your address. Please don't mention giveaways or free in your comments. We don't want any trolls getting any of the good stash. And I think the question I'd like you to answer is, what is your favorite floss color? Whether it's a DMC or a General Arts or a Weeks, what's your favorite color to stitch with? I had heard some floss tubers mention Buckeye Scarlet, and they were showing it on their floss tube. Oh yeah, it's okay, it's pretty red. But then when I seen it in person, wow, it is a gorgeous red. So what's your favorite floss color? Either you've stitched a whole project in it, or if you have to use a red in a chart, this is the red you always use, or whatever. I'd like to get some good ideas from you. So answer that question in the comments, and I'll give that away next week. Vicky Benyo, don't forget to email me. And don't forget to watch after the end of my floss tube. I am sharing my chicken casserole recipe with you. I think that's all I have for you this week. I hope you get lots of stitching time in. I know I plan to. We are supposed to get some kind of ice, snow, something this weekend. So they're not sure exactly what it's going to be and how much, but I'm hoping to get snowed in. I'll take 6 feet of snow to get all my stitching in. Okay guys, have a wonderful week, and I will see you back next Thursday. I'm going to show you today how to make what we call a chicken bake casserole. I got this from my mother-in-law. She had always made it, and my husband loved it. And then my daughters loved it. So I had to learn how to make it. It's very quick, simple. It's great for this time of the year. They love eating the leftovers. I simply get a rotisserie chicken from our local grocer, already cooked up, wonderful flavor. I have shredded that in here. I just pick it apart. I've added about 1 cup of sour cream. I'm adding to that a can of cream of chicken soup. Just gonna stir that together with the chicken. I have my oven set at 350. And I'm gonna add milk, and the amount of milk I add is just to the desired thickness that my family likes. I'll probably add about 1/2 of a cup to 3/4 of a cup. They like it a little bit thinner. I like recipes that are a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'll put just a tad more milk in there. And just smooth it out. It's so quick and so yummy. So now that I've got it smoothed out, I take a box of stovetop and I made it with the microwave directions, which was 1.5 cups of hot water with 4 tablespoons of butter. I've already microwaved it. I'm just gonna fluff it up here. Just spread it out evenly over the top. Doesn't have to be perfect. And the oven's ready. Perfect timer. And that's it. Chicken bake. And like I said, it's going into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes and it's done. So this is the chicken casserole, hot out of the oven. It is delicious on its own or with some homemade yeast rolls, mashed potatoes and green beans and corn. That's what I love to make with it. It is delicious.